Disappointed that I wasn't Snow White. When I told them I'm gonna shoot Snow White for the month, like she was convinced that I'm gonna play Snow White. But when I told her no, it's the evil queen. We can't reach the place where we're gonna stop talking about female, men, you know, women empowerment, feminism, and all that before we work on both, you know, female and male.
You guys have to see what's going on with this new woke Snow White reboot, because things have just started to heat up between Rachel and Gal Gadot. Zegler, who stars as Snow White, and Gadot, who plays the evil queen, are reportedly at odds over their public stances on wokeness and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And yeah, Gal Gadot has made it clear that Snow White isn't all about being woke and girl power, but also a movie that should be enjoyed by all genders, bringing back the nostalgia of the iconic fairy tale. She also allegedly checked her co-star, Rachel Zegler, who was rumored to have insulted her by involving her in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
And then tell us about playing opposite, you know, Gal Gadot. What do you think about her take as the evil queen?
She's terrifying. She's terrifying. It's going to shock audiences how she can really tap into that evil queen.
The clash between Zegler and Gadot has overshadowed the reboot's promotional efforts, finally adding another layer of drama to an already troubled production. So what is going on between these two lead actresses, and how Gal Gadot put Rachel in her place after her woke ideas made her uncomfortable? Can't wait, so let's get into it. Disney were hyped up when making the Snow White live remake, and in theory, it must have sounded like a good idea. But when it came to create it like the classical romantic fairy tale vibe movie, they messed it up. The new version of the movie, which cost over $300 million, got a lot of attention, but for bad reasons. I don't need to cover it up, but for those who don't know, I'll keep it short. The original story was from the 1930s and had old-fashioned ideas about women. Then there was an argument about whether or not to include the 7 dwarves. And then, finally, the movie got caught up in a big argument in the US about race. Disney released the trailer for Snow White, which was viewed widely, but despite this huge attention, it has become one of the most disliked videos of the year. Things got even worse when the main actress, Rachel Zegler, said she hated the original 1937 movie and called the story weird. She didn't like how Prince Charming kissed Snow White while she was in a coma and couldn't say yes.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once.
After she said this, fans were already aware of her and Disney's intentions with the movie. But that wasn't the only thing that stirred up trouble. What happened next created an even bigger controversy, ignoring the fact that the casting decisions were pretty horrible too. Critics questioned the choice of a Latina actress for the traditionally fair-skinned Snow White, while others took issue with casting an Israeli actress amid the current conflict. Anyway, last week, the movie faced even more trouble when its 2 main stars started arguing about Middle Eastern politics and the woke culture around this movie. Yes, Rachel Zegler supports Palestinian rights, while Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, is a well-known Israeli actress. It's no surprise that they have very different views on the conflict in Gaza. Now, for those who don't know, Rachel Zegler shared on social media in May that she's been openly supporting Palestine since 2021. Also, back in January, she posted on Instagram urging people to push their leaders to support a ceasefire in Gaza, where over 40,000 people had been killed. On the other hand, Gal Gadot, who played Wonder Woman, criticized the international community in December for not speaking out against Hamas's attack, during which over 1,100 Israelis were killed. Back to the movie, earlier this month, Gadot posted the Snow White trailer and a video of a photo shoot with Zegler. People on Instagram had mixed reactions. Some praised Gadot and posted Israeli flag emojis, while others shared Free Palestine and Palestinian flags. But what Zegler did next took everyone by surprise and added even more fuel to the fire. Zegler shared a post on Twitter thanking people for the 120 million views of the trailer and wrote in a subsequent comment, "And always remember, Free Palestine." Her second post went viral instantly, with many in the comments section accusing her of throwing throwing shade at her co-star and insulting her. While Gadot did not respond publicly to Zegler's comment, she raised eyebrows with a post of her own after the trailer was released. She posted on her Instagram story a photo of Martin Luther King Jr. with his quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." Above the image, she wrote, "Only love can save the world." Days later, she appeared to make a pointed dig at Zegler. According to Times of Israel reporter Amy Spiro, Gadot's X account briefly reposted a tweet that read, "Trying to campaign on the head of your co-star, who actually lives through war, just so you'll look cooler with the kids, is really pathetic." Some people said Rachel Zegler shouldn't have brought politics into promoting the movie, while others thought she was trying to support Gal Gadot, who some didn't want in Snow White. It's clear that the people behind Snow White didn't want to get involved in a fight over the Middle East, but they couldn't avoid it, even if it doesn't really change anything. If the US government can't fix things in the Middle East, I don't see how Gal Gadot's or Rachel Zegler's careers will make a difference, said Klein. One thing that might happen is that celebrities might stop sharing their opinions publicly. If I were their PR person, that's what I would suggest. Now, let's move on to the ideas that Rachel has in her mind about this classic movie. The movie was supposed to come out in March 2024, but it got delayed because executives had to hold crisis talks to deal with the backlash from Rachel Zegler's woke comments. The movie also faced criticism when it was revealed that the 7 dwarfs were being replaced by 7 magical non-dwarf creatures to make the story more politically correct. These new characters were a mix of men and women of different ethnicities, with one real dwarf among them. Disney first denied these characters were in the movie, but later admitted it. After people complained about the change, Disney decided to use CGI to create characters that looked more like the dwarves in the original movie. Now, people are wondering why Disney didn't just cast real dwarves instead of using CGI, and some are questioning if Zegler had a role in that decision. Zegler, who promised to make the remake more progressive than the original, also faced backlash when old videos from 2022 surfaced online, where she spoke negatively about the original film. Speaking of her character, Zegler said,
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Some fans called Rachel Zegler a fake feminist and accused her of gaslighting, while a marketing expert warned Disney to be careful with how they portray Snow White. Branding expert Carla Spite said that while Disney tried to move away from old-fashioned values, they went too far in the opposite direction, trying to send a strong message that they believe is empowering. Spite mentioned that Disney actors used to be careful with their words, focusing on promoting the film, but with this new version of Snow White, the idea of making her a boss girl seems to have gone to the actors' heads. She warned that Disney needs to be more cautious about what their actors say during promotions to avoid repeating mistakes. And yeah, when it comes to repeating a mistake, Rachel did it again. In another interview, Rachel Zegler talked about how the new Snow White movie is different. She said, "People joke about our movie being too politically correct, and it is because it needed to be." She explained that their version tells a fresh story about a young woman who does more than just wait for a prince. The original 1937 Disney movie shows Snow White making friends with the 7 dwarfs while hiding from her evil stepmother. The stepmother poisons her with an apple, and Prince Charming wakes her up with a kiss. This story was a huge success and was based on a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. The new Snow White, the movie, is coming out in March 2025, and many people are excited to see Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot in it. What do you think about the two actresses' disagreement, and what are your thoughts on the new Snow White movie? Tell me in the comments. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.